Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here in Talladega for the second race of the round of 12 in the Cup Series playoffs. Racing Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, all on the outside looking in. But first, before we get into Talladega, we have the Truck Series here where we had a retired Cup Series driver, Mark Martin, actually get back in the truck for us here. He had so many successful seasons in the Cup Series where he never did actually win a championship, but had so many wins. I know he had multiple second place finishes in the points for the championship now, but just never did actually get that championship in the Cup Series. But he started just outside of the top 10 here for us today, or for us tonight in Las Vegas, as he started just behind that 88 truck of Matt Crafton there as he went down this back straightaway on this opening lap here in Las Vegas. Obviously, we are still in the playoffs here for the Truck Series. We got eliminated recently in the Xfinity Series. Unfortunately, just wasn't meant to be in our final season of the Heat 4 Career Mode in the Xfinity Series, and we only got eliminated by 1 point in Xfinity. So it was a bit of a tough one to swallow now, but we obviously still have a truck championship to be able to focus on with our team now, as Mark Martin was working his way through the field as this race went on, getting pretty aggressive there as he went down the back stretch into turn 3 behind Austin Wayne Self as he came through the center of the corner, and he was working his way forwards, Mark Martin was, now as he was just kind of clicking off positions here and there as he got the 18 of Harrison Burton just behind him hooked up, and then Burton would actually pass him as we came through right to the final lap actually of this race here in Las Vegas, as Mark Martin came through turns 3 and out of turns 4 for the final time. It was a 24 though of Brett Moffitt out front as we come down the front straightaway. Mark Martin crosses the line just behind Harrison Burton there to come through and finish in P7 here in Las Vegas. So a solid effort to say the least now, as Moffitt, like I said, picks up the victory, as this might have been an elimination race in the Truck Series. I'm not 100% sure. We're about to see though the playoff grid on the screen. Actually, no, we're going to go right into the Cup Series race where I did not qualify actually, so being a plate track. So we're going to get straight into the action here and get ready to go green here in Talladega for the second race of the round of 12.
We're live at Talladega for the 1000bulbs.com 500. The playoffs are in full swing, and for those drivers in the playoffs, a win today would clinch a spot in the next round. Which drivers will steer clear of trouble and visit victory lane? Let's go down to the track and find out. NASCAR racing is next.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here in Talladega to see maybe if our teammate Kurt Busch can get himself back inside the playoffs, as he is currently on the outside looking in. Ryan Blaney failed pre-race inspection, so he is starting at the back of the field. That is notable because Ryan Blaney is on the outside looking in currently now, as we are underway though here in Talladega for the second race of the round of 12. Martin Truex Jr., who starts just in front of me, P35, he is also on the outside looking in. So can Truex find himself back inside this top 8 now, as obviously after Talladega we still have Kansas to decide that round of 8. And right now we're coming to this race in pretty good shape. After a decent race in Dover, we had a chance at victory, and unfortunately we gave that chance at victory away in the late stages as we go down this back straightaway. Matt Tifft here in the mix right behind me. Kyle Busch though, he started out front. Obviously we did not qualify because there's just no point in qualifying at plate tracks because you can never do anything good. But Kurt Busch, he was currently in P1. He took the lead from his brother Kyle through turns 3. I meant now as we exit turns 4, as we have to check up a little bit there behind the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. I should mention right off the bat, I did lose one little piece of footage in this episode, and that was right at the start of stage 2. So you're going to miss the first couple laps of the second stage, but I'll definitely be able to still explain what exactly happened here as we go down this front stretch into turns 1. A lot of 3 wide racing already as we come through the center of the corner. Denny Hamlin on my outside. Hamlin, I consider him already to be a Final 4 lock now, as he has just done so good this season, and as we would continue though to just kind of move throughout the field following the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. We've climbed up inside the top 20 now within the first few laps. As we came through to lap 4, we climbed all the way up into P12, and then we would look to the outside of Martin Truex Jr. as we came through out of turns 2 side by side with him down the back straightaway. Next thing you know, we're up into P11 already, trying to get up into the top 10, and and we just kind of use that draft from the 6 car of Ryan Newman just up ahead as Kurt Busch. He was still up front at this point as we look to the outside of Eric Almirola. Things would start to get, though, a little bit more intense here as the laps went on, as we were closing in on the later stages of stage 1. Almirola had gotten just in front of me. They were going 4 wide in front of us, and I get big push from behind from the 38 of David Reagan. Draft partners were turned on for this race. Now as we came through the tri-oval, a little bit of contact there with the 10 of Almirola as we come through the center of the tri-oval, and now he's going to go spinning behind us, and we have our first crash of the day here in Talladega. Big hit for the 10 of Almirola, the 96 involved as well, and another notable of the 51 car of Cody Ware's. The caution comes out here in stage 1. Myself and Almirola just kind of came together, and I tried to slice to the outside of him, and unfortunately it did not work out. Our first crash of the day, and then on the restart the car did not go at all there due to, I think, being a part of that little incident or something, as that used to be a glitch that got to us quite a bit, where if we hit something after the caution came out and the AI took control, the car would not go on the restart, and that's exactly what just happened. The car did not go at all here on the restart. So now all of a sudden all that progress we just gained before that incident was lost, because we were down to P24 now down this backstretch with just a handful of laps to go in this first stage. Kurt Busch at this point still out front. As we go down into turn 3, you can already see 3 by 3 up towards the front of the field, as we have Tyler Reddick tucked in behind myself as he's side by side with his Richard Childress Racing teammate of Austin Dillon. There's a slice in between the 14 and the 24 of William Byron, with the 14 of Clint Boyer on my inside. Alex Bowman, as well as certainly not being afraid to make some 3 wide moves here today in Talladega. As now I go to the outside of Eric Almirola with just 4 laps to go here in stage 1. Not a lot of time to get up towards that top 10, but we get actually back down into the middle there, getting to the back of the 10 now, as obviously he was the main driver in that big crash just a few laps ago, and here he is running in front of me now as we give him a push down the back straightaway here as we try to move our way forwards. Bowman on the inside, and then you see the 66 of Joey Gase on the outside here as we come through turn 3, just trying to do my best to hold my line and not hit anybody, and it's so much easier when you're on a wheel like I am with the Thrustmaster TMX to be exact. But unfortunately we would shuffle down to P23 before I was finally able to get down to the inside, as we were now approaching already the final lap of stage 1 here as we go down the front stretch right behind the 34 of McDowell. Then we slice to the inside of him, get tucked in behind Kyle Busch, and then I decide we're actually going to go up the middle, and that didn't work, so I kind of tuck in once again here behind the 18 of Kyle Busch as we start now the final lap in stage 1. P21 currently as we come through the center of turns 1 and 2. There you see Chase Elliott and his Hendrick teammate of Alex Bowman kind of working together. There is Clint Boyer in the middle between Kyle Busch and Elliott, kind of getting shuffled back, as it looked like Elliott's actually making it 4 wide nearly with Truex, Boyer, and Kyle Busch now, as we give Boyer a shove down at the back straightaway. Our former teammate here for so many seasons in the career mode. As we go down into turn 3, we send it up the inside of Clint Boyer. You can see some side-by-side racing up front for that stage victory. Ryan Preece in command as they exit turn 4 as he's trying to hold up Ryan Truex. It's the Ryan battle right now as we go in between Kyle Busch and Matt Tifft here on the final lap in stage 1. But through the tri-oval, it's Ryan Preece out front, and he is going to come through to win stage 1 as we come through to finish in P13 in the first stage for Talladega. So not the greatest finish, but a nice little comeback after we got shuffled down the field. Now as we would pit for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, and then I actually forgot to put the fuel and wear on ×3. So we were only running on ×1, so I actually got shuffled back on the restart, and like I said, this is where I lost footage, just a tiny little bit of footage I lost here at the beginning of stage 2. So like I said, I got shuffled down the running order into about the 30s, very unfortunately for us, as we were trying to push the 38 of David Reagan. We had the 24 of William Byron hooked up right behind me at this point as I would get to the inside of Reagan, and we would be able to get back down to the inside lane and then start to move our way back forwards. So now we come through back to where the footage actually picks up again, and we only missed a few laps, like I said, here in stage 2. We were now up into the 24th position on lap 4 of stage 2, right behind the 95 of Matt DiBenedetto now, as we would continue to climb our way up into P21, up inside the top 20 now here on lap 6 with only just 5 laps to go, as we were just trying to rally our way forwards, and now we're up all the way towards a top 15 position here with just 5 to go in the second stage. There's I go in between the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 95 of Matt DiBenedetto now as we go down towards turn 3, just continuing to move our way forwards. We get to the inside of Brendan Gaughan as well, and we're just continuing to move our way forwards here as we came through now with 4 to go in the second stage, now up into the 9th position as I came through turns 1 into Keselowski on the far outside. Jones just in front of me. He won recently, obviously. He's won 2 races now in the playoffs as I would actually jump up to the outside here with Keselowski, get hooked up with him as we had Ryan Truex on my back bumper, Truex Jr., Martin Truex Jr. on my inside here as Daniel Suarez, our rival, was also on that far inside as we have 3x3 action right here at the front of the field in Talladega. Some great racing so far here today at this plate track, and hopefully it will continue now as we came through though to just 3 to go on the stage. Unfortunately, this outside lane kind of faded a little bit. We were down to P10 as we're still on the outside though of Martin Truex as we were just continuing to get a shove. We came through now approaching 2 to go on the stage. I slice in between the 20 of Jones and Keselowski, and it's going to hold now as I actually get backed out of it now as we go down into turns 1. A little bit of contact with the 52 of Cody Ware as I come through turns 1 and turns 2. Jones and McDowell on the outside as I'm just going to kind of come through the middle as I side draft the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. just a little bit. Now we came through to the white flag. We had gotten past Keselowski on the inside of him, past William Byron. We start the final lap here on stage 2 to the inside of our rival of Suarez, and we pass him now for P6 as I look to the outside of Cody Ware here on this final lap in stage 2. Ryan Newman and Landon Castle out front now as we look to the outside of Ty Dillon, being as aggressive as I can to get any point we can to give us even more of a buffer going into the next race at Kansas, which is an elimination race now to decide that round of 8 as we do not unfortunately make the move on Ty Dillon as we come through turns 3. And then I have help from behind from our rival of Daniel Suarez. He's not pushing me in a friendly manner, he's pushing me in a I want to wreck you manner instead, but either way it still gives me that speed boost as we come down the straightaway 3 wide once again, coming through the tri-oval right behind that 13 of Ty Dillon, just kind of locked onto him at the end as it was Newman and Castle side by side at the line, but it was Ryan Newman winning stage 2, and we came through to finish stage 2 in the 5th position. So a very solid stage effort once again. Now, as like I said, I forgot to put the tire wear and feel to 3x, so we did not even have to pit going into this 3rd and final stage. Ryan Newman, though, and Landon Castle out front will lead the way to the green flag now as the 3rd and final stage here in Talladega is underway. We went caution-free in stage 2, which was kind of a bit of a surprise now as we have the 41 of Daniel Suarez just behind me. Like I said, he's a rival. He's already on my back bumpers. Ryan Newman is going to just completely give away the lead as he goes in the middle lane. Next thing you know, we're right behind Cody Ware as we come through out of turns 2, and Suarez is hooked right up on me. So I decided we're going to take this to the outside and see if we can get out in front of the 52, but now he has the 96 of Parker Kligerman. Suarez, he's actually trying to get past me, so I'm throwing quite a few blocks on him right now because I know if Suarez gets to my inside or outside, either way, if he gets beside me, he's going to try and put me into the wall or something. Now as we come through turns 3, continuing to just get a big push from behind from the 41 of Suarez there. We kind of got together on the exit of turn 4. He loses his momentum now as we come through the tri-oval, and we actually get taken 3 wide or something by someone because Parker Kligerman just kind of drove up the track, and now that shuffles me out a little bit here as we complete that first and opening lap of this 3rd and final stage. Daniel Suarez once again to my back bumper as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. A lot of drivers up here that could be one of your surprise winners. Parker Kligerman, we got the 52 of Cody Ware leading the race. Ryan Newman up there, he did not make the playoffs this season, surprisingly, as Daniel Suarez now behind us was all the way up in that 3rd lane, and he started to drift back just a little bit, but then he was actually able to get back down into the same lane as myself as we come through turns 3. Martin Truex Jr. now gets up into P4 as we would fall down all the way to P9 as we still had Suarez right on my back bumper, though then he would get to my inside as De Benedetto was trying to get past me as we came through out of turns 4. So we were just kind of slipping down the order, being on this higher lane now as we come through the tri-oval. You see 3 cars up ahead going all the way up by the wall. Cody Ware, William Byron, and I believe that was David Reagan up there as well. Now as we got a push from behind from the 96 of Parker Kligerman as we come through turns 1. At this point, only 14 laps to go, or sorry, I think 15 laps to go it was as we came through turns 1 and turns 2. Ryan Newman at this point out front as Eric Jones was in the middle behind us. He's the only driver here with nothing to worry about. He won last episode, and that put him in to that round of 8. Now as we get very aggressive, they're going up the inside of McMurray. There were 4 wide behind us as we came through turns 3 and out of turns 4. As now we were stuck in the middle 3 wide myself with just 13 laps to go, pushing once again our rival here of Daniel Suarez as we came through down into turns 3. but just doing everything I can to just move forwards in that sometimes meant using this middle lane, and unfortunately that would kind of cycle me back right here as we came through out of turns 4. So I was looking for an opportunity to get back down to that bottom lane, knowing that I need to be down on the bottom to move my way forwards, but we came through now to lap 37, just coming to 10 laps to go, still in the middle here of the 3 wides as we came through out of turns 4, and we had our teammate Kurt Busch kind of in the mix behind me. He's in need of a great run here today in Talladega, but it doesn't look like he's going to get that right now, as you see Jimmy Johnson coming into the picture, pushing the 14 of Clint Boyer as we are hooked up with the 4 of Kevin Harvick as we hit just 10 laps to go here in Talladega now, as I need to get to the bottom as quickly as possible. And here behind Jimmy Johnson, we have the opportunity to slide down to the inside lane and get under Kevin Harvick there, and the 4 car Joey Gase coming up just behind me to give me a shove as well. And I decided we're actually going to kind of get hooked up here with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time champion, and see if we can maybe work with him to move our way forwards. And sure enough, it came to lap 40, just 8 laps to go, 3 wide right behind us as we were moving our way forwards. Now to lap 41, right on the back of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, as we look to the inside. Nearly by accident we make contact there with the 48 of the 7-time champion of Jimmy Johnson. He hangs onto the car, thankfully, and we all keep it straight so we would stay glued to the back bumper of Johnson. We came through now on the end of lap 41, now up into P7. Joey Logano at this point out front. He's still looking for his first win this season, surprisingly. He is in the playoffs now with just 6 laps to go. Can Logano get win number 1 on the season now, as we came through on lap 43 through turns 1 and turns 2. Keselowski at this point on my outside, as we were just kind of hooked up with that 48 and I was glued to him. I didn't plan on leaving the 48 of Jimmy Johnson anytime soon here, as I'm giving him a big push down this back straightaway, trying to get him to the inside of the 71 of Ryan Truex as we go down into turn 3, but just couldn't quite get him to that left rear. So we just kind of settle in here in P5 now as we came through out of turns 4 to the inside now of Corey LaJoie, but then the caution comes out with just 5 laps to go here in Talladega, which is going to force a 2-lap dash to decide the winner in Talladega. We would be lining up in the 5th position right behind the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Joey Logano is trying to get that first win, like I said, this season now, as the green flag is out and Joey Logano has to hang on for the final 2 laps, but I was once again going to get hooked up with the 48 and think the plan was to maybe push Johnson to the lead and then try to make a move on him for the win, but he gets very aggressive here. He's going to go 3 wide up the middle between Joey Logano and Ryan Truex. I kind of stall out here through turns 1. That allows Keselowski to get clear of me as I come through the center of the corner, but surprisingly he does not drop down. He stays in that middle lane. Eric Jones all the way up top there behind the 32 of Corey LaJoie. We're stuck here behind Logano. Surprisingly, Johnson made the middle lane work. I jump up to the middle here for a moment, and then I try to get back to the bottom, but then Logano was slowing up, and I got into the right rear of him, and then now I do have a chance to slice back down to that bottom lane under below Brad Keselowski. Logano back up into P3. Jimmy Johnson up into 2nd. I'm trying to make a move on the back of the 22 of Joey Logano. We get alongside him, coming through into the trial, coming through as well to the white flag here in Talladega. Ryan Truex leads away, Martin Truex Jr.'s brother, as we start the final lap here on the outside. Not working at all as I come through down into turns 1. Johnson, though, looks to the inside of the 71 of Ryan Truex, and Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time champion, has only won 1 race since we've started this career mode, and now he is side by side for the lead here, 2 by 2 by 2, as we go down the back straightaway for the final time here in Talladega. Ryan Truex nearly clear of the 7-time champion, as I'm going to force it 3 wide between Logano and Joey Gase as we dive down into turns 3 on this final lap here at Talladega Superspeedway, hooked up to now the back of Ryan Truex as I come through turns 3 and turns 4. Now I'm going to catch him off guard and look to the inside of Truex, just trying to get every point possible. As we go down this front straightaway, Suarez is here. He forces us into the 71. We make contact, and now Suarez and the 71 go spinning here through the trial. We're involved. A big crash behind collecting Joey Logano. Jimmy Johnson wins in Talladega as we come through to finish in P4 as the race ended under yellow, just a handful, maybe a couple hundred feet from the line it was now, as that would end the race. Johnson with the victory, like I said, his 2nd ever win in our career mode, and there you see the playoff grid. Kurt Busch still on the outside looking in after the race. Daniel Suarez was not happy. Obviously, he was pushing me up into Ryan Truex, and then I kind of got fed up there, and I may have just hooked him in the trial, which is not very smart, but I just kind of did it. And as always, though, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. And in the next one, we do decide the round of 8 at Kansas Speedway. So we're going to see what we can pull off there at the 1.5 miles. Hopefully our teammate Kurt Busch will make it in. It's going to be tough for him for sure, and as well as the other 3 drivers on the outside looking in, which you see right there. Ryan Blaney and Truex are going to have to win. Harvick and Kurt can still point the way in. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day.